because the whole point of like owning my own business is you want freedom,
flexibility,
autonomy,
freedom,
no boss, and to make as much money as you can. It was tough at the start because you've got a lot of competition, so I invested a lot of money myself in terms of personal development to grow as a person as well. For the viewers or listeners that don't know me, my name is James Blackwell. I'm an entrepreneur based in the northeast of the UK. I run a couple of businesses, Ronald James, a recruitment company. We help specialise in digital and technology recruitment, and we work with a lot of big tech companies up here in the northeast. Got a big passion for marketing, so I started my business just under 5 years ago. Started with like £5,000 to £10,000 credit card and loan, and then grew it to 7 figures plus agency within 3 years. So it's been an interesting journey, and yeah, I'm looking forward to today's episode.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump straight in with that there, because you mentioned the £5,000-10,000 credit card, and one of the questions a little bit later on was, how did Ronald James start? But in terms of like funding it, because on one of the podcast episodes that I was editing one for your podcast, you mentioned about bootstrapping the business. I'd never heard the phrase bootstrapping before. I actually had to Google it to find out what it meant, which is basically starting from nothing, or more or less like your own savings and piling everything together. That was my understanding of it. So yeah, first of all, like the idea of a recruitment company, and then if you don't mind touching on that kind of funding side, and in terms of the actual cost of starting a business, I believe it was you, and that's Kobe in the background as well, by the way. James's dog. We'll get him on the cameras in a little bit. Yeah, it was just you and Dan, and I actually saw which is James's brother. And I saw the post a couple of days ago, 4 years ago, of just you and him in an office wherever that was, yeah. And then now grew it to this, which is in 3-4 years. Quite impressive. Yeah. But yeah, starting out, so how did all that come about, or how did Ronald James come about?
So prior to that, I used to work in recruitment for a big northeast recruitment company, and I had a great experience there for I think just under 5 years as well. So started off as a recruitment consultant. I mean, prior to that story, I used to sell cars, so I used to work for BMW for 5 years. Again, learnt my trade. It was great. I used to love cars, and I still do. So it was always one of my passions to get involved with cars more. So I learnt my what we call like sales apprenticeship. Yeah. With those guys, matured, and then moved on to recruitment. I didn't even realize recruitment was sales, but it is like really high level sales. So. Started off at a leading recruitment company, and then worked my way up to manager, and then left and started my own business. Always been entrepreneurial, and then I think always been into personal development as well, and like actually learning and evolving as a person. So I wasn't really very academic at school, but since then I realised that it's only down to you to really better yourself and educate yourself, and learn and start when you leave school. So I've invested a lot of money myself in terms of personal development to grow as a person as well. But yeah, started the business off. It was I took on like a personal loan, made sure I had limits on credit cards and stuff just to get going. And it was tough at the start because you've got a lot of competition, and you needed to really find a niche within a sector as well. So there was a few different areas that I toyed around with before settling on being local in the northeast.
Right, okay.
Within the digital and tech sector as well. And then started off, I remember, like pretty much that was by myself. So Dan hadn't come into the business at that stage, so it was literally just me. Yeah, it was just me started the business off. I had opportunities, and I had an experience with James from Dragon's Den. He wanted to invest in me. Right. But I decided against that, against taking investment and just actually going it alone. Yeah. Because the whole point of like owning my own business is you want everyone does. You want freedom,
flexibility,
autonomy,
freedom,
no boss,
time.
and to make as much money as you can. So,
and then you end up with James as a client, and you get none of them.
That's true. Yeah, tough. So started off like literally just working in a coffee shop with a laptop, and it was tough those days, to be fair, because it's hard to win clients. They trust you because you're just a startup, so you're starting from the bottom, and then obviously just trying to like grind my way up. So it was just like networking and meeting people. From day one was the main thing, and then after I think probably a few weeks, my brother Dana got involved in the business because he'd left school and he hadn't really had a job, so this was his first job. So started off, made a few placements, got a chance on a few accounts, and then just grew it from there. And then we took some office space, serviced office space, and started from there.